Hey everyone, it's Andrzej on Software. Today I would like to share with you the way I'm trying to build better habits in my project work. And I decided I want to improve on my habits, and there are three specific things which I want to do probably every day or every working session, depending how async I am at this moment. But maybe it might be in the end like every second day or something like this. So one of the habits is to have a look at the performance metrics every day. We use New Relic, and they show really nice data about our project. And certain things can be automated. Certain things we have as assertions in our tests. So if certain requests take longer than 10 seconds, for example, we have errors and the build fails and so on. But there's a number of metrics which we haven't automated yet, and we are not sure how to automate it or whether it makes sense to automate them. So I'm trying to schedule 5 minutes every day to just have a look at the performance charts, the memory usage, the garbage collector usage, and stuff like that, just to detect if there are any anomalies that might be worth looking at. Usually everything is just fine, so I just sometimes I just copy and paste some of the charts, paste them into the Slack channel so that other people can see and have some benefits of my 5-minute work here. So that's one habit. The second habit is code review. So probably code reviews deserve another episode on my podcast. In short, I'm not a huge believer of the value of code reviews as a tool for detecting bugs. It's more, I see it as a tool as a technique to be up to date on what is going on in the code base, so that I can see what patterns we're using. Maybe I can help by suggesting something better. But mostly it's for the bigger picture, actually, instead of the smaller picture. So I want to see whether we maintain our current, architectural goals, for example. And so that's something I'm scheduling also only 5 minutes, because it's just, if you do it every day, then in the project, there's really not that, usually you would have, between 10 to 15 commits, maybe more, but usually they're small, so you can just quickly scan through them and only stop if you see something really, really interesting. And if I find something really wrong or weird as for my understanding, then I make the 5 minutes longer, obviously, just to write some comments, maybe suggest something else, or at least ask questions. The main value here is, again, to be up to date, to know what kind of code areas we are changing and how. And the third habit I'm improving is the habit related to using our project management tool. In our case, it's Pivotal. In Pivotal, we use Pivotal as the single backlog tool. So there is one set of tasks for us, and we always take the first one from the top of the backlog. But there is always a communication happening. So even though I'm not working on a certain story, I like to follow what is the communication about between a programmer and a product owner, so that maybe I can suggest something, or at least, again, I'm in the loop. I understand what is happening, what are the problems that we are solving. And in a small team like we have, it's very easy and doesn't take much time. So that's 5 minutes only. So three habit improvements, and each of them takes 5 minutes. So it's 15 minutes. And I like to, as with habits, I believe, as I learned, that they work best when you use them almost like in aspect-oriented programming. So before or after something. So there's a hook. There is like a join point or a point cut when you decide that you're doing this. And I like to do it at the beginning of my working session, because this starts my brain working better and so on. And technically, I'm using Nozbe. I think I'm using Nozbe for the longest now. It might be almost 2 months now, which is weird in my case. I'm usually not using some kind of GTD tools for longer than a few weeks. Anyway, I'm staying with Nozbe, and I'm started using a feature of Nozbe which is called a project template. So, and I have a project template called a working day, and for each new day, I'm creating a new project. So today is Wednesday, and I have a project called Wednesday, and I created it from the template. And the template consists of the usual things that I want to have inside, which are my current habit builders. So the 3 things I mentioned are at the close to the top of my project for every day. And when I do, and I mark in Nozbe, there's this nice feature you can say like what's the time needed for finishing the task. And then for the whole project, you have there's a feature of showing you how much time you need to finish all the tasks. So that's for your internal time tracking, and that's very useful. So altogether, Nozbe project templates and the 3 new habits that I'm trying to improve on and trying to be more consistent and systematic with them. And thanks for listening.